Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to iTREND on ITV. I've had a few weeks of leave and it's absolutely wonderful to be back in the studio again. You know, recently I've been chatting to many people who are going through a very tough time. And the one thing that I posted up on my social media pages has been that you, as you are, you're enough. There's so much power within each of us, and we just need to realize that and understand that. And once we channel that, we make ourselves stronger, and we need to believe in ourselves, which tied in so well with the guests that we had in our studio today. I was literally scrolling around on social media, and I found a post that said, "Congratulations to Layla Khan on her writing achievement." And we started searching around to see who was Layla and what was this achievement about. The little that we did find, we asked her to come into the studio so we could chat to her about it. But what we found out subsequently to that really blew us away, and we couldn't wait to share it with all of you. Because as I always say, we have such an immense amount of talent within our community. And the moment we start nurturing it and we start celebrating it and we start praising it is the moment it bodes well for all of us in the community. Because these young people of talent not only bode well in terms of how they are growing our community, but they also bode well for the younger people who are looking up to them to say, oh my goodness, if they could do it, so can I. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome my very, very special guest into studio today, Layla Khan. Assalamu alaikum and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is such a pleasure. You are remarkable. And I must say, I think I was blown away by how talented you are, but not only just how talented you are, how far the reach has gone in terms of the work you're doing. But let's start telling our viewers a little bit about who you are, who Layla Khan is. Layla, you're just 18 years old in matric at Red Hill School.
Yeah.
How has the matric year been?
It's been quite hard. There's been a lot of work and it's kind of hard to time manage, but I've actually recently gone to an educational psychologist, and she's actually helped me quite a lot, because before I used to do my studying where I used to keep a calendar and I used to have to write down each time, specific time, what I need to do. But she told me that I should list it instead and tick it off once I'm done, making sure that I do the things for tomorrow and then going on to the next thing. And you have no idea, I'm like mind blown, like why can't the whole world do that?
Everything needs to work like that, because you can tick it up and it's done.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely great, because you've got really good organizational skills, which I think you have to have in order to be able to do what you're doing. You have started writing recently, and Layla's writing has not just been writing. Layla has started writing online. And it has been remarkable, with over 12 million people reading her pages, reading her stories. And she has been approached by 2 publishing companies and a gaming company who wanted, the gaming company wants to turn her story into an online game. Her book is going to be published. You are just 18 years old, managing school and managing this entirely amazing world as well. Is that also something you just tick off, I've done my writing for today?
Well, it's actually more like, I kind of put it as a priority, because I find writing as a stress reliever also, as well as really fun to do. So whenever I'm like, oh my God, there's just like so much to do, I write. I know that sounds kind of weird, but once I've done a bit of writing, I can go on and do my design project or my business studies report or something like that.
Because it keeps you more focused.
Yeah.
Have you always been someone who's enjoyed writing?
Well, before, when I was really young, I preferred more to do design kind of things. Like, I actually designed a magazine, but I didn't show anyone, but it was really fun to do. So I thought that was kind of my thing. And it still is. I still love design, but a few years ago, I started writing on Word, and my writing was horrible then. Like, I even spelled the Beatles wrong. And then as I started writing, I actually managed to finish the book. But then my friend, her name's Georgia, she showed me this app called Wattpad, and I thought it was just like for free books. I didn't understand what exactly it was. So I went on and I found out that you can actually post stuff yourself. So I started posting my essay for English, and people actually started reading it. Like, I don't even know why, because it was just an English essay. And so I decided in December of the year I joined to start posting an actual book called As Cliche as Roses, but I changed the name now, and I kept it up because some people asked me to, even though I hate it because my writing has improved because of the people on Wattpad. Like, I used to make a lot of spelling errors, and I didn't know that you had to put dialogue on separate paragraphs and all that kind of stuff. And so as I've been going on, I have been reading some of the comments, and it kind of shows me how to write better. Not change the way I write, but improve my English.
Improve your skills.
Yeah.
So have you found a huge difference from when you started to where you are now, just from a personal perspective in terms of how you've grown as a writer?
I definitely have. I think I was like a bit weird when I started writing, because like when I reread the things that I've written before, it's like, what was I thinking? But like I try to make people laugh with my books, and it works. Like people they're like, oh my gosh, you're so funny. I'm like, I'm actually so glad that I managed to make people laugh. It's like,
absolutely, and that truly is a gift, because I think there is so much going on around people that and not always very good things. So people do look for an outlet where they can just find a happy space, a space where they can laugh, and you do afford that. I started reading some of it, and you are hilarious. You are hilarious. So let me ask you, when did you actually start doing this?
Well, I started fully writing on Wattpad in December.
Which year?
Last year.
And that's it, just last year?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And so I started posting more, and I wrote quite a few different books. And most of them, the English is still kind of bad because I haven't had time to edit all of them. But I keep posting new books, and my writing just keeps improving, and that's kind of what I want. I just want to keep improving.
Did you ever expect that you would get a response the way you've received? Because, I mean, it's a short space of time that you started posting. I mean, it's not that long. It's not years of experience under your belt. You're also a very young lady. You've got a hectic matric year. Did you expect that you would get the response you received from this?
Honestly, no, I didn't really expect something like this. But I spoke to someone that worked at Wattpad, and he told me that it's mainly about luck, to be honest. He said it doesn't really matter about how well you write, because there are things called undiscovered gems on Wattpad, and it's basically books that are amazing, but they don't have that much recognition. And so on Wattpad, it is about luck and who finds you and what kind of writing style you have, because it all depends on that. So people will keep reading if they like the way you write. It doesn't matter really about English here, because it's a lot of children from all around the world that some even hardly speak English. Like, I've had people from France asking me to translate my book, and they're like, sorry about my English, because they're not that good at it.
Yes.
And it's like been amazing, because they don't really judge you for how you do write English. It's about how you write and express your characters and yourself through the book and all that.
And you've literally tapped into a huge teen market between 13 and 16 years old, sometimes a little older, because I'm also reading the book as well. But you've tapped into this market, and the responses that I've seen online, I actually just scrolled a little bit last night having a look at responses and how people have been responding to you. It's been pretty remarkable. Have you ever read that, and the feedback that you get from it? How does it feel to actually realize that? I mean, the comment I read was someone in Mexico who was busy reading your book, and it made such a difference to her.
Yeah, so I read quite a few of comments sometimes, and I feel bad because sometimes I make people cry, and I'm like, no, but also it's like to have someone cry for your book is good, because to get emotion out of them with words is like what I want. So even if it's laughter, crying, anything, I just think that when you're able to give a reader emotion through words, that's kind of really good to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what, I think it's a gift. It really is. You mentioned earlier about that it's luck. And I honestly don't just think, I do think to an extent it may be, But I really do believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a serious plan for you, because your response has been remarkable. You've been on the right platform for it, and you're managing to tap into the right audience with kids that are your age who are going through very similar things as well. So it's absolutely a gift that you should really value and cherish, because you will be taking it forward, I'm sure, in many ways. Before we go for the ad break, I have to ask you how you deal with, if there are any negative criticisms, how you deal with that.
Well, usually I don't get that much criticism, but when I do, it's kind of, I take it and I kind of use it to try and improve, but without changing the way I write. So if someone says, okay, I don't like the way you've done that, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to keep this here, but I'll keep that in mind next time to think about how I could do it to kind of fit, but not.
Absolutely. But I think that's a very mature way to look at that, because you're taking the criticism very constructively. You're using it to your benefit, and you're not letting it affect you. And I think that holds really, really well. Are you like that generally in real life as well?
Well, yeah, usually people don't tell me, like, they don't criticize me to my face. So I wouldn't say anything. I'd probably just laugh it off if they did. But I also know one of the authors that I'm friends with, she told me that there's been a lot of hate, like someone's called her some weird nicknames. I'm not going to say it. Yeah. And she said that now she's just embracing the nicknames that she's been called. And I sent her a picture, and it says, some people will love you because, some people will hate you because of the way other people love you. Oh, and I feel like that relates really well to people who get hate online.
But I think you deal with it very maturely and in a wonderful way. So well done to you for that. You. With this remarkable lady, there is still so much to discuss. We'll be going for a very quick ad break, and when we get back, we'll continue our discussions with Layla Khan and her writing journey. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to iTREND on ITV, where we're chatting to the very dynamic Layla Khan, a young 18-year-old from Red Hill School who has done an online novel, which is literally taking the online world by storm. She has had over 12 million people reading it already. She has been voted on Inkit as one of the top 100 authors to be looking out for. Layla, we're discussing your journey. I've got to ask you this. Coming from a traditional family where things are usually academics, get this done, get that done, what has the response been from your family to the fact that you've just taken on this writing world?
Well, my mom kind of said that I should more focus on doing schoolwork instead of writing, and not just writing more. But I've kind
of... Like a typical mum.
Yeah, basically. And I've kind of done that. I've focused more now because I'm in matric. But I've also managed to keep updating for my readers, because they read even when the book isn't finished. And so they are like, please, can you update it? And I'm like, okay, I'll just quickly take this time to update and all that. And then it's not like I get in trouble for writing. My mom's really okay with it, and she's happy that I'm able to do what I like. So I'm not kind of stuck in the situation where I'm not allowed to write at all and I'm not allowed to tell anyone. Like, I know a few authors, their parents don't even know, and they have won awards for their books, and they have been offered so many things, and their parents don't even know about it. So.
And what is, we were talking earlier because you said your school didn't even realize how huge this was, or you haven't really told anyone. Have your friends been following you online and reading up on the stories?
Yeah, I told 2 friends of mine to follow me before I even started posting on Wattpad. And they have been reading my books, and they say that it's really good. One of my friends said, because I wrote a book and it's supposed to be humor, and she says it fits with you so well. It's like the crazy side of you that's in this character. And that's kind of what I try to do. I try to incorporate my personality into it. So how I would feel in a situation, I'm like, okay, I'll just put it in. So I kind of write from my perspective with a different name, kind of.
And I think that's why the response has been so huge, because it's so real and it's so authentic. And it's just you, because there isn't another persona that you're trying to be. It's just yourself that's coming out through the writing. Have you found that it's grown you as a person in terms of how you see things, are you just taking this as it comes?
It has changed me quite a lot, like even in a design perspective, because I've been designing my own covers and my banners and all that kind of stuff. And it's really helped me because I get advice and things from my friends that are also authors, and they're like, okay, this one looks cool, but maybe do this. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually a good idea. So
And that's remarkable, because I think you're really blessed because you've automatically found yourself in such a wonderful, safe space where you've got a very supportive network of authors that are backing you up. You've got wonderful, positive readers who are just boosting you as well. You've got an amazing family support network. So all those things are really playing into the success as well, which is really such a blessing. Tell me about the publishing route and how that started.
okay, so first I was offered to be published by someone that I didn't know anything about. They didn't really have anything because it was on Wattpad, and they messaged me through private messages, and they didn't spell properly. They didn't know what
very
they
legitimate.
they didn't have an email to send it through Wattpad and all that kind of stuff, and so I declined. And then a few months later, I was offered another deal by a company called the Polyethnic Publishing, and basically they are a new company that was started by a girl that's still in university. She studies business and she's only 19 years old.
Wow.
And so I said okay to this one because I thought it would be really cool to just have my book published and out there. And so now we are busy in the editing process for that nerd. And I'm also going to be publishing another book next year with them. And then actually this month I was emailed by another company called BLVNP. And they also publish books, but apparently the reward isn't, or the, what's it called?
The financial aspects of it?
Yeah, there's like a specific name, but I can't remember.
It's fine. We'll get to it.
And so they said it's not that good, but it's worth it if you just want to get it published.
Get your name out there. Okay.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna do it. So I'm actually being Skype called by them today.
That's fantastic.
Today.
So what's been amazing also is like when I hear about who the person is that's publishing this book, these are young entrepreneurs that are setting a standard and are saying, you know what, we can do this. We can actually just take the step and get it done. And what's remarkable is that how quickly it's grown and in what a short space of time. You've also had other fabulous news from a gaming company.
Oh yeah, so there's this app called Episode, and basically what it does is it turns books into a virtual game where the reader or player can actually be the protagonist, and they make decisions. So it's like, do you want to wear this dress or this dress, and you choose one, or do you want to go out or just stay in bed? And it's like that kind of thing. So how it works is basically there's milestones, and so first they'll put a few chapters of your book up, and if people go and read it and they want more, then they'll put the whole book online, and that's basically one of the milestones, and then it keeps going like that.
That's absolutely, absolutely amazing. Have you realized how huge this is? Has it actually hit you in terms of how massive this is going to be?
Well, because it's online, it doesn't really feel real in a sense.
Yes.
It's kind of like talking to a camera. You know that there's people there from all around the world, but it just doesn't feel as real as it is. Like sometimes people message me and they're from all over the world, and it's so cool to think about how they are actually real people, because it doesn't feel like it when it's just a little one on a book kind of thing. And a girl actually made a video review about one of my books called It Started With a Converse. And it was so cute. I loved it so much. She was like, she reviewed it and she was so kind. And it's so nice to see real people that know the book.
Absolutely. What would you like going forward? What does the future hold for you? What are your plans?
Well, I've obviously wanted to publish my books, and I'm actually trying to do YouTube videos. I was like, it would be really cool to try and do it on a new platform. So I haven't posted anything yet. The only thing I've put online is my trailers. And so now I got my mom's video camera and I'm just going to start posting online and see where that goes.
Fantastic. We wish you absolutely all the success and all the best for the future. We'll be watching you very closely because we have no doubt that you're going to be one of the strongest stars in our community. And what you've achieved thus far is quite remarkable. We do wish you the best with Matric as well. And we look forward to hearing from you. And I'm sure we'll be seeing you in studio again very soon.
Hopefully. Thank you so much.
Leila's book is online on Wattpad at the moment, but will be released from the publishers in August later this year. Remarkable talent in our community. We will be posting links on our social media pages so you can get in touch with her as well. Please stay tuned. When we come back, we have another young dynamic lady from our community speaking about her talents. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to our next segment of iTREND on ITV. I absolutely love doing the youth segments and doing the youth programs because the talent that we have in our community over and over again I don't think overwhelms me is the right word, but I think it just blows me away. It astounds me as to how remarkable our youth are, how we don't actually realize that the talent we have in our community can be so strong and so profound. And it's always such a pleasure having them and always chatting to them. In our next segment, we have yet another remarkable youth, Sumaya Kala, who has just launched another CD of hers. She is just 12 years old, another remarkably talented lady. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the studios.
Wa alaikum salam. It's a pleasure to be here today.
It's so wonderful to have you. Sumaya, you are just 12 years old, but you started singing from a while ago. At what age did you start?
About 5 or 6.
What made you start at that early an age?
Singing is my passion, and it's like the way I express myself and like how I let go of things. And like my dad's also a singer, so he also inspires me a lot.
I think everyone knows Hussein Kala, who's also done a CD, who's very remarkable, has got quite a remarkable voice. We've heard him often on his own platform, very often with Zain Bika as well. So a lot of your inspiration came from your dad.
Yeah.
So has he almost nurtured this growth, or have you decided this is something you want to do on your own?
I used to go up on the stage with him when I was young, and I used to sing with him, and I used to really enjoy it. So I used to go with him to the studio and see how everything works. And then one day I said, Dad, can I make my own CD? I want to sing my own nasheeds and songs. And then he said, then we planned around it, and he said, okay. Then after that, we had to start writing songs and get melodies and tunes. So then after that, I went to the studio and I recorded my own songs. But sometimes, in the studio, you have days where you just want to go. You can't wait. You just want to record and you're happy and excited. And some days you're down and you don't want to go. You're feeling a bit stressed or something. And then it actually happened to me. I actually came to a point where I had no words, I was blank, and then I had to go to the studio the next day, and I was I don't have anything to do, I don't want to go to the studio. Alhamdulillah, I have a lot of from my extended family, my grandparents and my siblings, my parents and my cousins, they all they push me, and my amazing producer, Uncle Jeremy, they all push me. They say, you can do it, we know we believe in you.
But that's quite remarkable, because to have such a strong supportive network of people who believing in you, it also helps to make you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of it as well. Do you find that you need to have a lot of that? You need to trust in yourself to be able to push the process forward?
Yeah, you need to believe, and you have to be consistent also.
Absolutely. And a lot of hard work, because I think, as you mentioned, you have to actually get to the studio on those days that you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Because like any 12-year-old, there are good days and there are bad days. So there are days where you just don't want to be there, but you've got to push yourself, because that's a lot of commitment and hard work.
Yeah.
And where do you think those qualities come from? Because to develop those qualities at such a young age is also very remarkable. Because I know many 12-year-olds will say, I don't need to do this, it's fine. I put the covers over and go back to sleep.
I have to I say I can do it, it's gonna make a difference in the world if I do something. Because if you see you got a lot of Muslims and non-Muslims, they listen to music, and if you actually listen to the words carefully, what does it mean? Does it have a meaning? And like I said, maybe I want to make a difference in the world by singing, and I can use good words, and there'll be another option instead of listening to bad words.
But that's pretty remarkable, because to have that insight at such a young age and to say that I want to choose my words so carefully that it basically becomes a form of dawah work.
Yeah.
And you've made that decision very early on in your life to say that I'm choosing my words, that regardless of what music it is, it's the words that we listen to.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing, and that's really very insightful for someone your age to be able to see that. So how do you choose what you're going to sing about in your nasheeds? Is it something someone else writes, or is it something that you write?
It depends. Like sometimes it depends on a talk or something that inspires me. Like if I listen to a talk and then I'll see what was the talk about, I'll write something, or something that's been on my mind for a while. Like for example, like for my butterfly song that I've written, like I want to write because I love like creatures, like the butterfly. It's like bright colors and it's very gentle creature. So I said I'm going to write on it like how it goes through metamorphosis from a caterpillar, then it goes into a cocoon, then it becomes a butterfly. So I said it's like, if you put it in another way, it's like how we as humans go through from being a baby to a toddler to a child, and then we become teenagers, and then go to university and parents. And
that's
like
pretty
that.
remarkable. So you really think everything through. Nothing is just done on the whim.
No.
And you know, I have to commend you on that, because I think that's truly giving the best of you in everything. Nothing is being done half-heartedly. Has your dad been a partner with you through this process?
Yes, like even some of my songs, I also got the help of my dad and Uncle Jeremy.
And like you mentioned, we know Jeremy because we've had many of his talent that he produces on our show as well. So I know that he truly does believe in the people that he works with, which is really something that you do need as well. You said you started at 5 or 6 years old. And that's just a short time as well. It's just 6 years, and now you've launched your CD. What did it feel like launching your first CD?
It was like excited because it's like my own songs. Before I used to sing like my dad's songs, and then I wanted to like have my own songs also. So.
And what was the response from people around you, from family, from friends? What did people respond to you on it?
They were like also very happy, and like I have a lot of small cousins, and they also like. Sometimes I hear them singing the songs and when I'm around them. And like also like I captured small duas and like short duas with their meanings, like, and then I put them into one of the songs. And like I find things like to learn it, I learn things easier with rhythm and rhyme.
Absolutely.
So when it has a melody, so it's easier to learn.
So it's very easy also to pick up on those duas because you've included that in the nasheeds.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier about choosing words, and you said, is that the reason why you chose to use your talents along a nasheed way and say that this is what I want to do? Or do you think that was influenced? Or do you think your dad said to you, look, this is what you have to do and this is how it goes? Or was that your own personal decision?
It was my own personal decision, yeah. And like sometimes if you listen to bad music, you'll see it will play in your mind the whole day. And if you're listening to something good with good words, it'll be playing in your mind, but it'll be good words. Like it has a meaning. It's
Absolutely.
not just no.
So you think that what we listen to strongly influences what we do and who we are?
Yes.
That's very remarkable and very insightful as well. Sumaya, tell me about your regular day. Because it's quite remarkable when I was chatting to you, when I was chatting to Layla as well, to have these talents, to be able to find the time to fulfill that role that you've been given and to fulfill the gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. But what do you do? How do you manage that and the rest of your day? Because I know that you are homeschooled.
Okay.
Tell me about your normal homeschooling day.
So alhamdulillah, I chose with my parents that we'll do homeschooling so that I can like do, I can have a chance to do other things like going to the studio, because if you sometimes with going to full-time school, by the time you come home it's already afternoon, then you have madrasa and other activities. There's like no time to go to the studio.
And then you also studying Hafiza classes as well, if I'm not mistaken.
We're trying to do inshallah this year.
Alhamdulillah. Inshallah, great success for you on that front as well. You come from a family where you've got other siblings as well.
Yeah.
How has their response been to you on your journey? And then I'll ask you my next question.
Okay. Like my little sister Zahra, like sometimes I wrote a song for my mom. It's called Khadija to Fatima. It's like the relation between Khadija radiallahu anha to Fatima. And like my sister also loves that song. Like I wrote that song especially for my mom. It was actually for her birthday a few years ago.
Oh my goodness.
I sat with my dad. It was like really like 12 at night. We were just thinking a little bit.
And what a beautiful tribute to your mum.
Yeah, my mom was really happy.
I'm sure she was.
Like Zahra also, we decided to put her on the song also, like she sings in the starting. So she also
So there
felt
is a
happy,
family
yeah.
involvement.
Yeah.
So are any of your siblings planning on following your line of work, or are you taking the strong charge on this one?
I think I'm taking the strong charge, but maybe also Zahra will follow, inshallah. But I don't think my brothers.
They'll be your network. They'll be your marketing directors. We're going to be taking a very short ad break, and when we come back, we'll be chatting to Sumaya about what the CD was about, her inspiration behind it, the words she's chosen, as she's mentioned, and then you'll get to hear a little bit about it as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are in our last segment of talented youth within our community. Today we're chatting to Sumaya Kala, who has launched her CD, Marching for Allah, a young 12-year-old, a dynamic 12-year-old who has got such insight and wisdom into what she's doing, the manner in which she's doing it, and the path that she is following. Sumaya, we were chatting about you a little off air. We chatted also further about you saying you choose the words because you want to make a difference in what the messages that you bring across. This is your CD called Marching for Allah, which was just recently launched. This must feel pretty amazing to be able to be sitting with a CD that has your name on it, that you know is filtering out into people's homes and that people are listening to.
Yeah.
It's how did you come by the name Marching for Allah?
Because I said, like, as we're doing things every day and every step we take, it's marching back to Allah. And one day, like, I mean, as we're doing things, we're all going back to Allah. Now,
I like that. I like the fact that you see that you can realize at such a young age that our purpose is only to be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that our life's purpose is only for Him.
Yeah.
So has that, for me, when I sit and I chat to you even off air, I find that that's just who you are generally, because everything you discuss is with a lot of insight, with a lot of wisdom for somebody so young. So this is who you are in real life as well.
yeah.
Tell me about what you've put onto the CD.
Okay, so I got a song Allahu Akbar because, like I said, Allah is the greatest. And like that's the song where I captured all the small du'as in it.
Perfect.
And then Marching for Allah is the name of the album, and I also got a song. And it's about like the prophets, and I mention all the prophets in them.
I've actually heard that one, and I love that one. I think I've actually heard, if I'm not mistaken, you and your dad had performed that as well at one stage, and I heard it. But it was quite a remarkable one.
Okay, and then Khadija to Fatima is the one I wrote for my mom, and it's featuring my sister Zahra Kala.
And how old is Zahra?
She is 6, she'll be 7 tomorrow.
Okay, so she's definitely following in your footsteps.
And then we got I Dream. It's like I dream of traveling to Mecca and Medina. It's sung about like what I dream, like to go to Mecca and Medina. And then the prophets is just like I got I think I got 5 prophets, and I have like a verse on each of them.
Beautifully
and
done.
then Be Like Muhammad, it's actually a cover of my dad's song.
I love that one.
The one I did a cover of his. And then Butterfly is one of my favorites. Like I said, it's like how butterflies go through metamorphosis, and like how we go through stages in our lives. And then we got Salawat. It's just like a salawat, and it features my dad, Hussein Kala. And then Praise to Allah. It's about praising Allah and
It's remarkable. And then you've got the 99 names.
We got the 99 names of Allah, and I did it with the meanings. So we got the Arabic and the English meanings, and that also features my dad.
Perfect. I think I'm going to ask you a little bit first about your CD, what you've sang here, all your nasheeds. What has been the inspiration behind it? Has each one come at a different time in your life that you wrote it and then kept it for one CD? Or was it all done together? What was your inspiration behind it?
Like I had quite a few songs, and then after that, like I said, like the one day I just never wanted to go to the studio because now I was like blank. I had nothing to write on, and I was like telling me that I don't want to go, I don't want to go. There's nothing to do, and I was like, now what am I going to do? Should I stop or what? And then yeah.
And then it kept you going.
Yeah,
but we'd love to hear a little bit, and I know that you're going to be singing a little bit for us off one of your nasheeds, one of your favorite ones. And then towards the end of our show, I know we'll be playing off with something as well from here. But we'd love to hear your voice as well.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. There's a caterpillar on a leaf, spent her days munching juicy leaves. Branches of the tree were for her. Spent her days munching juicy leaves. Branches of the tree were for her. The only thing in a tiny world, comfy and cozy in her cocoon. She fell into a deep, deep sleep. And when she awoke, she was amazed. Her life would never be the same. You are a butterfly, I see it in your smile. You are a butterfly, flying to the sky. You are a butterfly, made by Allah Most High, made by Allah Most High. You are a butterfly with colors in my mind. You are a butterfly, bring joy in our lives. You are a butterfly, peace you glide, made by Allah Most High. She's a butterfly flying so high, she catches the corner of my eye. Beautiful colors on her wings, bright yellow, blue and neon pink, flapping her wings through the gentle breeze, flowing in a rhythm.
MashaAllah, that's absolutely remarkable. How long did it take you to put that together?
The song or the album?
Both.
Okay. It took me about 2 to 3 years to do it.
That's amazing. So 2 to 3 years, and I think that's the one thing that people have to understand with this is the amount of hard work that goes into it. Because just being able to say you've put out a book or you've put out a CD or whatever it is, as easy as they make it seem while they're sitting here, there are hours of dedication, hours of practice, hours of hard work, hours of perseverance. And I think those are phenomenal qualities to be showing at such a young age. So well done to you.
Jazakallah. But you can also say, like, once you complete something, the hard work pays off. So it actually does do something at the end.
Alhamdulillah. And did you actually feel that when you launched your CD?
Yes, I was very excited.
To see the whole process coming together.
And I also, like, learned that nothing in life can be perfect. You're always going to have to change. Like, you can't be stuck to something. There's gonna have to be someday that you're gonna have to change. Like while we were doing like maybe a melody or tune that I had in my head, like the lines wouldn't fit into it, so I had to change. I couldn't be stuck to it.
But what I like about that is it also shows versatility, that the fact that you are able to say, if something doesn't work, I can change myself.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I've been discussing quite a bit with some of the young ladies I've been chatting to say that we can't change other people, we can't change situations, we can only change ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's the control we have. And you've just said exactly the same thing, which you've seen in your work.
Yeah.
And how have you found that that has helped in you adjusting to situations or adapting to situations in your everyday life? Have you also understood that you just go with the flow and it makes things a lot easier for you?
Yeah, you have to change, You have to go with the flow, and like you could be stuck, but then you have like, you may need time to think, but you're gonna have to, can't be stuck and just sit. Like sometimes I say you need like to have sabr, like, and not very much just sit and like, not just sit back and say, Allah will help me and it will come to my head, like the words will come to my head. You have to have sabr by thinking and going, but like not just giving up and saying,
But that's pretty remarkable. I'm blown away by these young ladies. You actually have understood that Sabr doesn't mean just sitting back and saying, whatever is meant to be, it's going to happen. It's also saying, I'll work hard at it, but I'll be patient that Allah will give it at its right time.
Yeah.
That's really, really amazing. I think you're a team that most of us would want all our children to have that kind of understanding in our homes at this point as well. So you are quite a blessing in your house. I have no doubt about it. Sumaya, tell me, what are your plans from here? What would you like to do for yourself?
Inshallah, I want to write more songs and go back to the studio, inshallah.
So you do see more CDs coming out from this?
Inshallah. Inshallah, it's the first of many.
Alhamdulillah. And since the launch of the CD, have you managed to get some writing in as well? Or have you just decided, I need to focus on other things, let the CD get launched?
I haven't written anything yet.
But there are plans.
Inshallah.
Do you think you get influenced in your writing by what you see happening around you? So for example, when I discussed this a little bit off air with you, I just asked you, but we never got to the answer, which is why I'm asking you again. I do apologize. But do you find that you are influenced if you see what's happening around you, what kids are going through, or where your mental state of mind is, or where you find yourself spiritually? What influences how you write? I know from a young age you mentioned it was your dad, right?
Yeah.
But where you are right now, what would influence your next writing stage?
It depends what's on my mind. So I'll see like what I'm thinking about and now.
So it becomes very personal for you.
Yeah.
That's quite remarkable, because I think also when it's so personal, it's something that you can write about.
But it also helps me to like express myself and like let go of what's on my mind.
Perfect. So, and you find that is an outlet.
Yeah.
If there are other children your age, even a little bit older, who want to go down this road and are watching you and saying, you know what, I can also do that, what would be your advice to them?
Okay, my advice would be follow your dream, like where your dream takes you. But one very important reason, you have to be consistent and never give up. You have to always like push yourself, even if no one's pushing you, but you're gonna have to take yourself and push yourself through it.
And alhamdulillah, that's some very good advice. And I think listening to Sumaya chatting as well, we've also realized there's a lot of insight into doing that. It's not just about pushing yourself and hard work, but it's also understanding that you have to be patient, that it's a long process. There's a lot of dedication involved and a lot of commitment. But we wish you only the best and a successful journey ahead. And we can't wait to hear what more you have ahead for us as well. But before we go, we will be giving away, we've got 4 CDs of Sumaya's, Marching for Allah, that you can win. All you've got to do is you've got to drop an email to our producers and maybe mention the title of the CD and who the singer, the nasheed artist is. That's all you need to do. You need to mention the title of the CD, the name of the nasheed artist that we're featuring on our show today, and you could be in line to win one of 4 of Sumaya Kala's CDs. Sumaya will be closing off with one of your nasheeds, and we wish you all the best. We thank you so much for being in the studio with us. It's been such a pleasure to have you.
Okay, Jazakallah. Thanks for having me.
From talented youth, we can learn so much. There's never a time where we won't stop learning. And I think our youth today are teaching us over and over again. There are so many lessons just in today's show. Please do follow these young ladies, give them your support, and let's make sure we have more youth in our community that keep growing, because as I say, the more we encourage and we inspire our youth, the stronger we get as a community. We'll be playing off with one of Sumaya Kala's latest nasheeds from her CD, Marching for Allah. Shukran for joining us on air. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.